first saw it, I felt awe. It was the most important thing I've seen in my life. It was 1963 and everything seemed so promising, so interesting, so fascinating. When we pointed our devices to it and we saw what it was, we were happy. We were absolutely happy. I even kissed the screen when it showed the final readings. God. And now I can barely look at it. I can barely look at it and not feel real horror, real awe. Jupiter is a big planet. It's the biggest if you were paying attention in school. But how big is it? Well, it's mind-blowingly big. You can fit 963 heads in Jupiter. Just imagine it. A place so big you could not in your lifetime cross it. And to make things worse, that place is and has been for millions of years a big, everlasting storm. Winds that can cut through metal and rock. Temperatures that will melt your face in an instant. And of course, radiation. A good freaking lot of radiation. Sometimes I dream I'm falling for ages into that infinite wall of madness, into chaos for all eternity. In my dreams, I get pulled by the winds, by those clouds, and I can only hear the roaring all around me. And I don't know if it is the wind. I don't know if what is roaring is really the wind, or something more, something alive. And then I see it. I see it dancing in the middle of the storm. My body getting close to it in the distance. I can see the wheels, the structure of it. I get sucked by it, the speed increasing, making me dizzy, making me sick to my guts. When I'm about to hit it, I finally wake up, covered in sweat. It's not such an uncommon nightmare for me. It wasn't uncommon to the team either. You see, it was, in its moment, something beautiful. An object that defied that atmosphere, that planet, that giant. An object that crashed about 400 years ago into Jupiter's atmosphere. And somehow stayed planted in that atmosphere, resisting the winds, the gravity, the heat, everything, remaining in its place for 400 years. It was fascinating. I mean, who'd think that the red spot, that hallmark of Jupiter, was in fact created and sustained by just an object, with about the size of North America. We thought it was some sort of meteor with unique characteristics, but that notion disappeared when we really looked at it, when we really analyzed the data. We were mind blown and excited. It was something no scientific theory could explain. And then you guys came along and put us to work in this building and made us sign those non-disclosure documents. So I understood what it was, long before we really knew what it was. It was not just some weather phenomena. It was not just a meteor or a comet. It was something intelligent. It was something that had the ability to sustain itself, to resist that wind, that heat, and that gravity. It was something with a purpose. You designated it decided to stay. I understood the fact that no paper or investigation would come to the light. I didn't care for fame or money. I just wanted to understand that thing, to help. I should have taken the damn amnesia. Forget about that and move on and studying black holes and dark matter. I think I would have been happier that way, or at least I would have avoided those nightmares. In 1985, we deployed the Barrier Project, an array of satellites in the outer Jupiter orbit, to look at that thing closer. We discovered so many things. We could finally see it. We could finally see its form and structure. Imagine a machine the size of a continent, constantly moving, constantly changing its shape, constantly adapting. Imagine the power that machine has to possess, the energy it releases. Hell, we detected parts of it that moved so fast that we couldn't even capture them in infrared. Imagine something that can tear through space and matter as easily as a hot knife through butter. We saw rays of antimatter. We saw a force field made of God knows what that could interrupt the gravitational forces of Jupiter for periods of minutes, even hours at a time. We saw things that would make any physicist wet their pants, that dropped Einstein and Hawking into kindergarten. The data was absolutely certain. It was what you could call an alien ship. A real goddamn alien ship. The question was, of course, where did it came from? Well, believe it or not, it appears to have come from the Triangle Galaxy, about 3 million light years away from our solar system. We intercepted a stream of electromagnetic signals from that galaxy to our little thing, since we deployed the barrier array. The stream, alien in nature of course, was at the time impossible to understand. I mean, how in the fuck can I even understand what someone or something is saying 3 million light years away? According to calculations, if that ship really came from there, it must have been traveling for at least 5 or 6 million years in space. It is an object, and listen to my exact words, millions of years old. Ergo, it has survived longer than our civilization in deep space. And now, for 400 years, it had survived one of the worst places in our solar system. Can you even imagine what that means? No, you can't. You know what Arthur C. Clarke wrote about it? Yes. Insufficient advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And that thing is the practical example of that phrase. We discovered around 1986 that the thing was repairing itself. It had been repairing itself from day one. The current repair state is about 60% from completion. Somehow Jupiter managed to pack a great punch to that thing. We estimate that it will be 100% completed in 2050. But that's just an optimistic approximation. We found out that it has drones that recovered parts and materials from nearby rocks and derelict instances of the original ship. Drones that could navigate Jupiter's orbit and also its atmosphere no problem. You see, for a drone to navigate an orbit is not such a big deal. But a drone navigating the interior of Jupiter is like looking at an ant swimming inside a river upstream. At first we just didn't know what to do. If we should let it repair itself and see what happened, or if we should somehow stop its repairs. And then a damn letter was discovered. You see, Cassini saw it back in 1665, but just didn't saw it. He saw the moment it impacted Jupiter. He wrote about it in a journal he never published, kept by some relative or friend, I really don't remember. He made the calculations and recorded its movements, its path, and finally the collision in great detail. I think at the time he dare not publish something so strange. He must have thought he would be mocked. It was impossible for a celestial object to move so fast and to create the anomalies it created. If only that fool didn't give in to the shame. If only maybe we would have a chance. You see, after we studied that journal and matched it with our data, we could reconstruct the somewhat exact path SCP-2399 had when it collided with Jupiter. And guess what planet was the center of all the lines and schematics? Guess who would have been the lucky winner of the visit of that monstrosity if Jupiter hadn't intervened? Yes, like any movie cliche, we would. And God knows what would have happened to our little planet. So what did we do? We started to form an attack plan to stop SCP-2399 from repairing. First, we deployed a jamming signal all around Jupiter's orbit via our barrier array to stop communications with the triangulate galaxy. It worked. At least it worked. Then we started to study the possibility of attacking the drones. All our barrier satellites had a built-in cannon of tungsten rounds just for any eventuality or experimentation. But we did not dare use it unless it was absolutely necessary. However, something forced us to do so. We discovered a piece of debris that, according to our models, was a part of SCP-2399 communication system. With it, it could overcome our puny signal jamming and could probably receive instructions from its galaxy. We didn't have much time. A drone was closing to the debris faster than a greasy monkey on a slide. So of course, and thanks to the military and command, we had to fire. Barrier Unit 53 fired a single tungsten round, enough to decimate the thing to pieces. The round traveled 100 kilometers to its target and then it was destroyed at about 400 kilometers from it. What destroyed it? Well, we don't know really. We didn't see any projectile coming from SCP-2399 or the drones around the area. We didn't even saw laser or gamma beam being fired. We didn't detect anything around Jupiter. What we did see was an explosion of 2.5 megatons that decimated the tungsten projectile. And then we saw this. Somehow, out of nowhere, appeared a drone in the vicinity of Barrier Unit 53 at about 2 kilometers from its position and headed straight for our satellite. Where did it came from? How did it came to be there? Well, remember the phrase. Remember R2C Clark. The drone approached Barrier Unit 53. An order was given to destroy that thing from existence, along with the satellite, but before we could aim the cannons, Barrier Unit 53 and the drone disappeared in a spatial anomaly. Well, at least that is what we call it. In sci-fi movies, it would be called a fucking wormhole or beam me up, Scotty. After that, I think one of the lead scientists fainted. I felt sick, and the commander just left the room. You would think that looking at it from a nice room with screens would make it just like a video game. Like it's not happening in real life. But you see, we are scientists. We know what all those numbers, all those graphs and odds are there for. They are there to give us a measure of reality. They are there to detect and predict. But when something comes out of the charts to bite you in the ass, when something just pops up from existence, then you can't fucking predict shit. Then you know that there is something you just can't understand. Something inherently wrong with reality. Is there when you feel like that dream I had, where I fall through the endless clouds of Jupiter, where I hear that monstrous roar, and you feel it is not as far from reality as a fucking satellite disappearing in front of our eyes. So of course, after that little incident, the big guys, in a panic attempt to end the problem, deployed Project Geigas. And what Project Geigas was? A satellite that was to get into Europa's orbit, carrying nothing more and nothing less than 30 or so of the latest nuclear warheads, designed to obliterate SCP-2399 out of the face of this universe. Basically, we were going to try and destroy a thing that could manipulate space and could create nuclear explosions out of nowhere with some little missiles. But they had to appear like they did everything in their reach. As you may know, Project Geigas was an absolute fiasco. The bombs were destroyed just like that tungsten round, about 10,000 kilometers from their target, not even at 10% of their trajectory. It was a pretty fireworks display, I must say. According to calculations, the projectors would at least travel 100 kilometers before they were intercepted. So, in a new attempt to attack, one of the barrier satellites, Unit 12, positioned itself close to a cluster of rocks that was frequented by drones, close enough to fire its round without being intercepted by whatever intercepted them. A drone showed up in a piece of rock. We fired. The projectile hit its target. The drone reappeared about 10 kilometers from the explosion, and Barrier Unit 12 was instantly teared to pieces. No explosion, just teared to pieces. magically removed from it and just disintegrated into smaller parts. You know, at the time, I wasn't even impressed by that. I wasn't even impressed by that. I just sat there and started laughing at the piece of junk floating through space in tiny bits. I mean, what could we do against something like that? Someone theorized that we could at least incapacitate SCP-2399 systems with a powerful enough electromagnetic pulse, EMP, like in the movies. But of course, it would have to be a fucking load of EMP if we even wanted to tackle that thing. The project is called Legionnaire 5, and it has to be done with the help of every country in this planet. Well, I think it's cute that we are adopting that project. But don't listen to what I say. Now that I'm retiring, I really hope that it works. That it finally makes a difference. But you know, after what I've seen out there, after all that thing has been able to do, I wouldn't be surprised if that EMP, if deployed, transforms into snowflakes before even reaching its destination. Hell, I wouldn't even be surprised if the day we launch Legionnaire 5 into orbit, SCP-2399 just teleports to our freaking moon and blows us the fuck up. You see, that thing is not just a thing like I called it. That is a being. That being thinks, and is always thinking, always studying, always looking. You wanna see the latest transmissions it has sent? You wanna see what it sent 3 hours after it took one of our satellites? It didn't destroy your satellite, it took it. He probably studied every aspect of it at a speed that we can't dare to understand. After only 3 hours that SCP-2399 took Barrier Unit 53, it decoded our frequencies, it transmitted into our frequencies, and also it started to send data in the same format we use here. Sorry. SCP-2399 transmitted images, and is transmitting images since it took that satellite to us. It captured in video all of our satellites. It captured in video the moment it destroyed Barrier Unit 12. And now the only thing that it transmits day and night, second by second, is the same stream of video. You ask why the stress, why the nightmares? I am a scientist. I observe reality. I look through the glass and have done so for ages. I always thought that the glass was just a one-way